wife Ruth for their 30 years of public service. Senator Harkin has been a strong progressive voice year in and year out, and it is an honor to serve with him and all of the other elected officials, current and former, who are here. And it's great to see that Iowa is now blue at the state level, and we're going to turn it blue in November 2008. Are you ready for change? Are you ready for quality, affordable health care for every single American? Are you ready for schools that work for our children and our teachers? Are you ready for a president who believes in science and will support stem cell research? Are you ready for a vice president who respects the Constitution of the United States of America? Are you ready to end the war in Iraq and bring our troops home as quickly and responsibly as possible? Well, if you're ready for change, I'm ready to lead, and this country is desperate for leadership. We cannot continue on the path that George Bush has taken us. We can look around the world and see the damage that has been done. You cannot be a leader if no one follows. And right now, our values, our interests are being shoved aside, not only by our enemies who have been emboldened, but by our friends and allies who no longer think we know how to lead. We have to reassert American leadership in the world, and that does start with bringing our troops out of Iraq. And it also continues with recognizing that our young men and women in uniform have done what they were asked to do. They have gotten rid of Saddam Hussein. They have given the Iraqis free and fair elections. They have given the Iraqi government the chance to have a future. They deserve to come home because there is no military solution. Unfortunately, both the Iraqi government and the Bush administration have failed. The Iraqi government has refused to pursue the political path that was necessary, and the Bush administration has turned its back on diplomacy. We've got to get back to using diplomacy. You know, I will not wait until I'm inaugurated. The day after I'm elected, I will ask distinguished Americans of both parties to travel around the world with a very simple message. The era of cowboy diplomacy is over. America is back. And here at home, we have to rebuild the middle class. It is out of where most of us came or most of us arrived. And right now, too many Americans feel invisible, don't they? Yeah. You know, if you don't have health care and you're working as hard as you can, you feel invisible. If you're a hard-working single mom and you don't have child care, you feel invisible. If you're a small business owner, you can't figure out how to pay the rising energy costs, you feel invisible too. But I never thought I would see the day when the young soldiers who serve us with such honor, who are wounded in Iraq or Afghanistan, came home only to be warehoused in decrepit facilities, told to wait in line, take a number, denied the health care and the compensation they deserve to have. How have we come to the point where even our veterans feel invisible in America? Well, I will tell you this. Our fellow Americans are not invisible to us. And when I am in the Oval Office, there will be no invisible Americans. We will all be in this together again. And we've got to get back to being good stewards of the economy. You know, just a few years ago, we had a balanced budget and a surplus. We saw the creation of 22 million new jobs and more people lifted out of poverty than at any time in our history. Why, even Alan Greenspan, a self-professed Republican, gives my husband credit for doing such a good job on the economy. Well, we're going to bring back fiscal responsibility. We're going to bring back jobs, and we're going to do it in a couple of ways. We're going to use energy and combating global warming as a way not only to make make us more secure, but to put millions of Americans to work again. Across Iowa, you're doing it. You're doing it with biofuels, biodiesel, and wind. I want to see that across America. And I believe that if we're serious about energy and global warming, we can put millions of Americans to work and once again have a rising middle class where people feel secure that they've got a good future for themselves and their children. But we will never have a strong economy or a moral society until we have quality, affordable health care for every American. And there are three things we've got to do. Number one, we've got to get costs down for everybody. Number two, we've got to get quality up for everybody. And number three, we have to cover every single person. Tomorrow here in Iowa, I will be talking about the third part of my three-part plan, about how we will cover, how we will make sure everybody has insurance, how everybody will have access to prevention. It is not just a moral imperative, it is also an economic necessity. And I know how hard it is. I've been up against these people. I understand that the special interests don't want change. They're willing to just keep driving us further and further into the ditch with more uninsured and higher costs. Well, I'll tell you, we're going to take them on this time, and when I'm president, we're going to get it done. We're going to have universal health care. And you know, we can't have a strong middle class if we don't have a strong labor movement. We need people to be able to organize and bargain collectively. We need trade agreements that are smart with strong labor and environmental standards. And we need an education system that starts with universal pre-kindergarten, goes to the absolute end of education, wherever that might be for a person. And in the middle, we're going to change No Child Left Behind. We're going to make college affordable, and we're going to give young people who don't go to college a chance at a better future through skills training and apprenticeship programs. Reform our government to make all this happen, don't we? And in order to do that, we've got to get rid of the no-bid contracts, quit outsourcing our government, all these private contractors who are unaccountable. And we have to have more transparency. And I've got this old-fashioned idea. Let's appoint qualified people to do the jobs in the United States government again. For me is what kind of future our children will have. I've been a child advocate for longer than I care to tell you, 35 years. My first job out of law school was working for the Children's Defense Fund. And you know, I appreciate how much Tom Harkin has done, because my first assignment was going door to door in communities trying to figure out why there were more kids registered in the census than there were enrolled in school. And I knocked on doors, and I went into little apartments, and I talked with people, and I found children in wheelchairs, and I found blind children and deaf children. They weren't in school. And we were able, thanks to leadership of people like Senator Harkin, to change that. So for me, running for president is a continuation of what my whole life has meant. As an activist, working for change in Arkansas, working to get the children's health insurance program and so much else during the White House years and now in the Senate. Because ultimately it really matters whether every single one of our children have a chance to live up to his or her God-given potential. I do not want to be part of the first generation of Americans to leave our country worse off than when we found it. That would be a total breach of faith with everything America means to me and to you. So we can do this. Now, it's not easy. I understand that. I'm excited about being the first woman president, but I know that there are some who say we can't do that. Well, to turn the naysayers away. Those who say we can't have universal health care because the insurance companies and the drug companies won't let us, I think we say, yes, we can. For those who say that we cannot both protect our liberty and honor our Constitution, I think we say, yes, we can. And for those who say we can't have a new energy future or combat global warming without wrecking our economy, I think we say, yes, we can. And to those who say we can't have a woman president, we're not